Everyone, it's the R&B Show. Anyone dig it? Can you dig it? And now, here is Arguello, Christofferson. It's Ricardo and Brett.
Now, is that supposed to be your Bueller?
That's my Bueller.
Okay.
I thought the show was over already. That was the longest intro ever.
I forgot he was saying there for a second. But it must be the cabana wear you're wearing there, Rosie. It wasn't.
I think so. I think so.
Rosie, you're all you do is wear shorts nowadays.
I know. Should I like run in front here and show everybody?
Is that the new Elvis dress code? Is that okay?
I don't know. Well, it's so hot, and you have to be comfortable.
Not in here, but
in your work atmosphere. So I figured, why not?
It's hot outside, but inside I've got the space heater going because it's a little crisp when that air conditioning is going.
Well, thank goodness that it's going, though, because I've been here on days where it hasn't worked or there's been some sort of problem, and you're in here and it's sweltering a little bit, which doesn't help if you're how do I say this? If you're a hairier man, let's just say that doesn't help at all in that case. But hey, welcome to the R&B Show. Well, hey, wait. Let me do this. Episode number 37 of the only podcast dedicated to high school sports in the Fox Valley. I'm your co-host, Ricardo Arguello. Sitting alongside with me is Brett Christofferson, both of USA Today Network Wisconsin. Now, don't forget about Rosie over there, Jim Rosadick, the master of disaster, also part of USA Today Network Wisconsin. And you were saying what, Rosie?
I was saying the people who are in charge have seen me in shorts and haven't said anything, so.
Well, hey, easy.
Not that I'm a trendsetter here or anything, maybe because I don't, people never see me, so. Except in that little window in the lower left-hand corner.
Do people never see you? What are you, John Cena?
I am, yeah, you can't see me.
How come you call him the master of disaster?
That's
Apollo Creed.
Remember we're rolling through nicknames, and I gave him a whole bunch of them. I just like that one for some reason.
But he doesn't. There are no disasters when he's involved in everything. He's
not yet.
Well, although our live stream machine was acting up again last night.
Oh man, fingers crossed.
The overheat message.
Oh, did again, huh?
Did it again, yeah.
Gonna have to get a new one.
It brought up this really funky grid too. I was like, "What is this? I've never seen this before."
A funky grid? Was it like Tron?
No, it was giving me like all kinds of readings on temperatures. I've never seen it before. I'm like, "What is this?"
It starts to smolder a little bit. We were doing a political debate up at UW Green Bay last night, Rosie and I, and Rosie afterwards said, well, that overheat message came up, and there was some weird grid that showed up as well.
No, I got a roundtable show later tonight.
Can we get through a couple more weeks before we kind of shut her down a little bit? But we might have to beg and plead to get a new machine.
I'm pretty pleased with sugar on it. Hopefully,
that is the case, because I think we do need a new machine. But a couple of topics that we're going to head on here is a second to last show. By the way, that's some more news I'm going to let out of the bag. Next week is the final show of the season. That would be episode number 38, Brett. What do you think about that?
That's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of episodes. A lot of podcasts.
I thought we were going to cancel number 3.
Nope. It's 30 minutes of the best time of your life during that week, Brett. 30 minutes here talking with me. Hey, is that my volume here?
Nope, that's mine.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Rosie, what are you doing over
there? There's
the
master
of disaster. I heard master of disaster.
I had to create some disaster.
Track preview, WI State track that's starting up this Friday and Saturday. Brett, well, I'm heading down there for work. Brett's heading down there to actually
to play.
To watch his son compete. Going to talk about that at length. First part of the show, softball update. Some big, shocking, stunning surprises in the softball world. They're at the sectional final level actually starts, I believe, tomorrow is the sectional finals. I'll update everyone on that. Also, we have some other things to talk about, Brett. Appleton North has filled their hoops vacancies. Yeah. Interesting who they chose as the girls and boys basketball coach. And then lastly, we'll preview Roundtable with special guest Kaden Hofacker of Freedom, Louisa Marks of Fox Valley Lutheran. They are regulars on the show. They were here last year, both of them actually. So I got them to come back again. Both of them qualified in a lot of events, Brett.
Well, you were at the sectional.
I was at
Freedom.
The sectional, right?
What did Kaden run? A 10.63 or
10.63?
I know, in the 100.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he was flying. He wasn't the only one. There's another kid, and I forgot who it was.
Well, there was
10.8.
Blahoviak,
yes.
I thought there were 3. The top
there
three
might have
were
been
under
3.
11.
Yeah. Yes.
Unreal.
And they were a run of only. I have to check the performance sheets. I think they were one of like 4 or 5 who ran under 10.
It was great running conditions.
Absolutely.
It was hot, humid, but that's flying. And you know what the thing about Caden? I'll tell him that when I see him tonight. He makes it look effortless. It doesn't look like he's running that hard.
I've never seen
It's crazy.
the most. And no, I'm going to touch on this and when we get to the preview. But what he did, trying to salvage that 1600.
I missed that. I was gone by then.
One of the most incredible performances. I wish I would have. I wish I would have had that on video, Brett, because it would have gone viral in my opinion. He came from nowhere. Just missed fourth place there, and that was just incredible. But more on that later on in the show. But to kick off the R&B show, again, track preview, we're talking about the ones who did qualify. And, Brett, we had a whole bunch led by Kimberly. They're sending 21 events to the big show.
Looking pretty good for a state team title for the Papermakers.
Yeah,
isn't it?
What are they averaging? About 230 points when you look at the average between the regional and the sectional.
I got a Twitter spat with somebody about that.
Did I?
Yeah, somebody was talking about Milwaukee King.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that was after the conference meet. Yeah. Actually, and I thought, they had scored 240
I don't know what he was arguing with
in the
you
conference.
About
yeah, I'm like, yeah, you don't see that too often around here because the FVA is so good. He goes, well, you must not be down in the city watching the Milwaukee girls. I'm like, that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that the FVA isn't like the city conference where King and everybody else. There's a lot of great competition there. So to see them just really dominate, and like I've never seen before. These are the defending D1 state champs, Brett. They've been better than last year's. And you look at some of the headliners there, Boyd Dietzen, of course, DJ Stewart, Austin Wallace, I think in 3 events. Miles Lawrence is one of the top guys in the pole vault. This is a team that, unless something drastic happens, and I hope I'm not jinxing you, I can't see them not winning that D1 title.
No, especially with Cordell Tinch now out of the mix.
Yes.
With Bayport. Bayport might have given Kimberly a run possibly with Cordell because Cordell was favored to win both long and triple, and then probably would have placed very high, if not won one of the hurdle events, although that would have been a great race between.
Was he in the high jump too? He might not have been in the high jump, which I find shocking.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I thought you had. Well, how does that go? I have to go back and look, but he obviously you can compete in 2 field events, right?
Yes.
He was in the long and triple last year, or it's 3 running and 1 field event. I think that's how it goes, something like that. But anyway, that's a lot of points taken away from Bayport. 30 plus points potentially.
Right.
You take them out of the mix. I just don't. I mean, as you know in track, especially when you get to the state level, depth is huge. We'll talk about the Freedom Boys a little bit and what they're up against. But Kimberly's got a lot of talent in different spots, a lot of depth, and they're going to score a lot of points. I think they're going to run away with it.
Yeah, and we're looking at the long range not long, I guess it's later this week forecast. It looks to be relatively mild
70s.
Temperatures from what we've seen. High 70s maybe, mid-high 70s. It seems to change though daily, and it's obviously very volatile.
So it'll be 90. It'll be 90 plus on Saturday.
By the time we roll in, it'll just be raining, pouring the next day, and but that's normally how it rolls over there in La Crosse. But if it is ideal conditions, Brett, I think we're going to see some records fall, and that is always the case when the weather is ideal. You're going to see that happen. There's some top athletes. I mentioned in my column the top 10 things to watch for the boys' side. The rivalry, I don't know if it's a rivalry, but the battle that's going to be upcoming between Hofacker and Kenny Bednarik of Rice Lake. You and I have seen Bednarik run. The man is a freak of nature. To watch him run it feels like you're watching a future Olympian, Brett. And it's incredible to think that these two guys are going to be going head to head.
Yeah, I'm going to go down to the performance lists here on the WI website and try to find that real quick. Bednarik comes in 46.68 in the 400. 46.68. You had Hofacker in the 4x4 timed at 46.9, I think, or something in his split.
46.8.
46.8.
That's the split.
So when I heard about Bednarik's 46.68, I thought that nobody can touch that.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to see. That's one thing. It'd be interesting now to talk to Thane Jones. Hindsight being 2020, now that 4x4 didn't make it. If now he wishes he would have put Colin in that 400, go 1-2 400 in the long jump instead of the 1-2 4x4 in the long jump. But when you're going, we're talking freedom now. When you go Luke Pingle and Caden Hofacker back-to-back as your hammers in the 4x4, that's nasty. Yeah. So I can see where he thought they were probably going to win a state title in that event. That's just unfortunate what happened. Bednarik also in the 200, 21-24, Hofacker 21-83. That is close.
And then look at the 100, Brett. They're also both in the 100 dash, I believe. Hofacker with an incredible 10.63.
Here we are. Yeah, 10.63. Bednarik 10.83. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I told you there was like 5 of them
5
under 11.
athletes
Yeah,
under 11. The sprinting in Division
and
2.
three of them, or 4 of them, 3 of them came from the sectional that we were at.
Well, Freedom, Xavier, and then
the Watoma kid,
and then don't forget about that Baldur's kid as well.
Oh yeah,
he's
that's
only
what
a
I'm looking
junior.
at,
I don't know how to say his last name, but Elson
Peter,
Michael Jazise, Elson Peter, something like Van Ballers, 11:04. And he's
Folks,
only a junior.
That's flying, okay? Because when you look at the record, I think it's 10.57. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember this offhand. Those guys are within striking distance of the record for the 100 dash. As we all know, I think Caden, his older brother, holds the record in the 200. Is it? We'll double check, but
check that out now.
We're talking about some records that are going to fall. And that's what I'm talking about. If we can have ideal conditions at the state track, some local kids could break some records that we think are I wouldn't say unreachable, but those are pretty lofty. When you're running a 10.5 100-meter dash, that's almost getting to Michael Bennett territory, who ran a 10.33 to set the all-division record. That is flying, folks, 10.33 in the 100-meter dash. But that's one of my 10 things to watch, is that battle between Hofacker and Bednarik.
You're right, that state 100 in the Division 2.
Oh, sure, Demi Amole.
Yeah, from Dominican.
I remember that kid.
That's
sure.
15 years ago. That was set at a 10.57, so that is in danger. And then let's see if we can find that 200 time.
I believe the 200 time was still Hofacker.
400 Kenny Bednarik last year set it at 46.82. And then let me get down to the 200. But, as I'm scrolling, when you get to lacrosse, the times are always just faster down there.
Yeah, of course they are.
The track just runs really well. Usually the weather is conducive. Yeah, Colin Hofacker in the 200, 21.32. That was set 3 years ago.
Very close to that right now.
Well, this is, I'm looking at last year's results. So yeah, he almost set it. Bednarik almost set it. 21.61 last year. So yeah, it's gonna be fun watching. There's some serious star power. And when you get to state, you've accomplished something, and you just do what you can at that point, right?
Yeah, in my top 10 things, we'll just touch on a couple of these before we maybe quickly brush on the girls. Freedom took a big hit, but that 1,600 relay team not making it. We already know Kimberly is the odds-on favorite to win the D1 title. Freedom, if that 1,600 relay team had popped through, they would have had a good chance to possibly win that title. Now it's going to take a Herculean effort now. It's going to take a lot of guys going above and beyond. They can still contend. It's going to be tough, okay, but they can still do it. And I think in my scenario, some people are going to have extraordinary days, Brett, for them to do that. But who knows? We've seen this happen. Xavier did it last year. They only had 3 guys score, and they won the D2 title.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago at Little Shoot. Parker Glodman's had a monster meet, and darn near got Little Shoot a team
I've
title.
seen Bonnie Draxler win it by herself. So
yeah, that is unfortunate with the Freedom 4x4. I think you said the lead guy blew out his hammy.
It might have been the second. It might have been the second. Now that I'm thinking about it,
injury.
Bryce. I can't remember the kid's name. He was an alternate because of the domino effect with Brickner not being there, and then
Devin Baumgart was
the Baumgart kid was hurt in the regionals. So maybe a little inexperience there, and it was obviously that sectional was one of the top sectionals in the state. Yes, to see the poor kid limp, and he so far behind, Brett. You have no idea how far they were behind. I thought, oh my goodness, this is their cream of the cream. This is the top. This is their top event, and they're not going to make it to state. I thought it was gone. No way they had a chance. Pingo made up a lot of ground, and then when it got off to Hofacker, they were still, I believe, in last place. I want to say, or maybe one from the bottom. To see him make up that ground, it was like a man among boys watching him, hit that second stretch, go on the straightaway, then come around that corner, and then the final stretch, he almost darn near got them to state, Brett. An incredible effort, timed at 46.8. I heard one of the assistant coaches saying as he was hugging Caden, he couldn't have done anything more, Brett. Incredible performance, but this is where sometimes you see some true test of character, and even though you don't win, you don't move on to state, to see him put that team on his shoulders and almost get them there was incredible. It was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had.
Is he following Colin, his brother, to Iowa?
I have to check that. Actually,
he's putting times that might even be better than what Colin was running his senior year. But that's another thing too. Devin Baumgart out of the 800, he was one of the top 800 runners in the sectional, and that's more points taken away from Thane. I know you talked to Thane Jones, the Freedom coach, who's definitely disappointed in how it turned out. I think Catholic Memorial must be the odds-on favorite now to win the team title in Division II. Don't forget about Monroe. They have a nice program, too. A lot of kids. So, but who knows? Maybe Colin wins 3 events, and that's 30 points right there. You just
unfortunately he's going to be doing it against Kenny McNair,
yeah.
So they're going to be right. That's why I put Rice Lake as maybe a team that to look for to possibly come away with that title, because those 2 guys would be going head to head. But yeah, stranger things have happened. Again, we've seen stranger things. One of the most incredible things that I've seen, Brett, when I was at the track meet, a guy coming out of nowhere, Ben Kaczynski, remember the FVL kid? I forgot what he came in as a seed. He came in like maybe at 6'5", 6'6", pulls off a 7-1. State record, all divisions, okay? Things can happen at the state meet. Guys and girls can just have those kind of efforts where, oh my goodness, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Speaking of high jump, Emily Scott in the girls' side real quick, a defending champion. She's also one of the favorites heading in. The girls, in terms of the team aspects, not quite as there's not really kind of clear-cut favorites there from our area, at least, even though Kimberly has had a great run and they could be contending for that title, Brett. But Louisa Markson, who we're going to have on the show, she's qualified in a bunch of events.
FPL's got a nice girls.
They do have a very nice girl team. Could contend there in D2. That's an athlete to watch.
Xavier girls, didn't they win sectional?
Xavier won the sectional. Now they have their strength, in my opinion, is in the relays. They have some strong relay teams, so we'll see how they do. So yeah, maybe we will see Xavier and FVL kind of battle it out, possibly for a state title. That would be great. That'd make my job a lot easier, Brett.
It's just a fun event. You mentioned Kaczynski kind of coming out of nowhere. That not only I think he was initially going to go jump at Wisconsin Lutheran, immediately goes to Minnesota.
Right. After that performance,
Gophers are like, we'll take you over here.
Yeah, come on over, buddy.
Jump at the Big Ten level.
And remember, he had the back problems. He had the surgery done on his back.
Right, that's right. And then he also then ended up winning the Gatorade State Track Athlete of the Year on the boys' side, which I remember that year it was a 3-person race for the all-area Post Crescent Track Athlete of the Year. I think it was Seth Dockstader, Freedom Parker, Glottemans of Little Chute, and then Kaczynski of FEL.
And that made our job.
When he got the Athlete of the Year for the state of Wisconsin and then going to Minnesota to jump, that made it easy. But I tell you what, there's so many good athletes around here. We talk about it in all sports, but man, in the track.
Congratulations to your boy. He's heading out there. Part of a relay team.
800 relay team for Little Chute. They got in by 5/100ths
I saw that.
Of a second.
You're a proud papa. I saw that. You texted me saying, "Hey, going to state," and yeah, you're right, because again, that sectional at Freedom, incredible. A lot of great relay teams there, a lot of great athletes there, and to see them pop through, that means a lot, because it means more, I think, coming out of that sectional, no offense to the other ones, than it does coming from, say, out the northwestern part of the state.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a mini state meet there. You know it. You've covered that. I've seen it many times, too, and it's funny because
is he excited?
Oh, yeah. He's running the third leg. Kind of got put in late in the season. There was an injury, and credit him. He's done a nice job in helping. But it's Carter Pennenberg to Noah Miller, Noah from basketball, to Connor, to Adam Hippis, who credit Adam for getting it done on the lean, because it took every little ounce and inch to get through, because again, 5/100ths was all that separated, and then that relay from 3 to 7/10ths of a second.
Yes,
it was all
very
packed.
Close.
There were some nervous parents, let's just say, at the finish line. Although a lot of folks thought that Adam had gotten it in, but we've been kind of spoiled. My oldest has been there sophomore, junior, senior years now. Connor gets a chance to run. Ryan ran in some different relays, and it's just cool to be there as a dad, kind of sit back and take it all in. And I'm not going to be able to meet you guys at Big Al's, but have a piece of pizza in my honor.
Have several, but it's good for Connor. I know we've talked about this, off camera and stuff like that, and he's worked hard to get to this point, Brett. So it's good to see the hard work pay off.
Cool thing is that whole relay team's coming back. They're all 3 juniors and a sophomore.
Exactly.
So it's just good experience to get there and maybe build off of it for all of the other sports for next season.
Good stuff. Again, that's coming out Friday and Saturday. Now follow the Post Crescent. If you just keep on postcrescent.com throughout Friday and Saturday. Our man Dan Cohn is actually going there. He's going to be updating live results.
He's pinch hitting for me. We went to the bullpen, went to the righty.
That's right. He's bringing in. It's Goose Gossage is coming in. No, Dennis Eckersley.
I actually get to be outside, not be like stuck inside the bowels of the stadium where it's 20 degrees. I get to finally
keep you away from people, Brett.
The weather again. Yeah, it's going to be nice to experience it from the outside. Change.
Let's switch subjects here. Softball update. Oshkosh North softball. No, it's not a jinx, but they are out. They were our guests last week on the roundtable.
They don't like you anymore.
Stunning upset. They lose to Fond du Lac, a team, Brett, that they had beat 24-2. We were at the meet when that score came across. I had to go and tell you. because it was such a shocking score. Again, 24-2, they had beaten this team earlier this year. We had Suplay on, Nephew. The girls were excited. It's one of those things where this is why, I hate it, it's so cliche, why they play the games.
What happened?
Sometimes things like that happen. Hey, they just have an off night. They had an off night. There's nothing you can do.
They were the heavy favorites to win the state title. Now
my question to you, Brett, is, this was a number one team in the state, a team that they had, again, beaten 24-2. Have you ever seen an upset of that magnitude? The only one I can think of is a couple of years ago, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, Appleton United was like the number one hockey team, and then they lost to Bayport or somebody, because I'd already booked I thought I was going to go to the Alliance, and I was going to be there for a couple days. I thought they were for sure going to reach the final. They end up losing. They had some great players on that team too. Papey, I'm trying to remember his name, but that's the only one I can think of, Brett, to lose that early. This was not even a sectional. This was a regional.
Well, right. That's the point there. It was a regional. That early is shocking. Actually, you had come out of the press box at Freedom because I had just watched my son's 800 relay, and only that kind of news would take me out of the happiness of
the euphoria.
I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Oshkosh North lost? Because you came out and said, Brett, guess what? But was it overconfidence? I don't know. They're high school kids. That's what people seem to forget is you're still dealing with young athletes, young student athletes, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. They're not professionals. They've got other things going on in their lives, and you got to think that they had pounded Fond du Lac earlier in the year, and they probably thought this is going to be a breeze. We're going to move on to the next level, and all of a sudden, you know how it goes. It's the fifth inning, and like, holy smokes, we're in a battle here, and we're letting this team in it. And now they're starting to believe we might pull this thing off, and we see that in different sports too. Maybe it was just an accumulation of everything, and it ended up very badly for the Spartans.
Let me tell you how shocking this is. This is not quite to this level, but it would be like Kimberly football losing like Oshkosh West.
That's what level 2.
Yeah, like you would not. Yeah, exactly. A game where they're usually sticking their subs in the second quarter. For that to happen, I've never seen anything that high. I just gave that one example, but I've never seen an upset like that. Rosie, have you ever seen an upset like that at the high school level for in our era?
No, but he has at the 9-year-old Pop Warner level. I'm sure,
have,
right?
yes. The upsets plenty there. But
okay.
Yeah, I was shocked. And is Fond du Lac even still in?
No, Oshkosh West took them out yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
And that was the thing. Oshkosh West had to have been the happiest team around, knowing that they didn't have to face their arch rival, Oshkosh North. And they got Fond du Lac, and now they're at the sectional level. They're a step away from going to state. Oshkosh West, who also, by the way, speaking of one step away from state, don't forget about Appleton North. We've had them on the show. Remember this, Brett? They have a good shot at getting to state. I think I'm trying to remember if they have to play Pulaski
check it out
in the
right
championship or in the sectional championship. But they are right there.
They take on Preble.
So a team, in my opinion, that they can contend with, that they can beat. Appleton North did not expect them, especially because they had struggled a little bit towards the end of the year. Winneconne upset Freedom 1-0.
Wow.
That was almost as big of an upset when you look at it, because Freedom was really just rolling along. By the way, North and Freedom were my two picks to win.
Well, you just never know.
You never know.
Could this be Winneconne's version
of the football team from a couple,
or even the soccer team from last year? Right?
Oh yeah.
Just kind of getting on that hot streak
yeah,
right at the right time.
Possibly.
Winneconne has kind of a history of doing that. Hey, got to root for my Smash Panthers. Right?
Yeah,
my alma mater.
Well, now they're the de facto. They're the favorites. I don't know how you can. That team is stacked. They have 4 outstanding pitchers. Droner, it's got to be pleased seeing that other day when North was taken out. Now that kind of opens up their opportunity there. Oh, by the way, Brilliant is still in it. Courtney Hackbarth, she was a recent senior spotlight, and Wyega Fremont, they're always there. And they dropped down a division. They played D3. Brett, they made it to the championship game in D3 last year. They're in D4 this year. And I actually picked them also to win. So we'll see if they can actually make me look good.
Why don't you get them on varsity roundtable?
I might have to, but I think we're running out of spots. Maybe next week if they do win the championship, I'll talk to the Akies over there and see if we can get them on. But that's the update for softball. Surprising things going down, but we still have 4 area teams again: Appleton North, Winneconne, Brilliant, and Wyega Fremont at the sectional final level.
Yeah, and you mentioned Appleton North, a 4 seed.
Yeah.
4 seed coming in. So
I would love
Lightning so far.
Yeah, I'd love to cover Appleton North. I don't think they've been to that tournament since that year they lost to Kimberly in the final. When Claudia Harkey hit that home run late, that I think it's still actually in the air. That was a shot over there to Lake Mendota. But yeah, so that's our update on softball.
And speaking of Appleton North, some big news
yes,
coming
and
down
I was
yesterday.
just going to segue into it,
How
Brett.
about that?
But yeah, Appleton North hired a couple of new coaches for the Appleton North girls defending state champions, Brett. Two-time. What did they lose? 4 times last year, and I want to say 52-4. I want to say was their overall record the last 2 years. Darren Prozinski, an assistant for them, Brett, moves into the head coaching role. I think it was a smart move in that way because now it's kind of seamless. They still return a lot of great players. Yes, they lose Brecky. Yes, they lose Levy. But they still have Schabel. They have Van Wyck, and they have some other great players, Brett, that on other – if they would have been on other teams, would have had some great seasons, Brett, but because their depth is so incredible, they were basically off the bench in that way. So surprised at Prozinski. I think it was a logical move.
I think so. Makes sense. A guy that's had success in the program. You imagine he's going to keep a lot of the same principles and tenets and all that stuff, I would imagine, at his wrinkle, of course. But I just want to know if he's angry, is he going to make the girls grab towels and crawl across the floor?
Pull the Joe Russom, who, by the way, he resigned following their championship year earlier this year, anyway, to take a more expanded role over there at Menasha and kind of work more closely with that district. But I think they're going to do just fine. As long as he has stayed there, the girls know what to expect. He's been a coach there for, 8 years, 2011 to 2018, so they know him. And, he's a guy that I think is going to follow that blueprint. And why would you change anything? There's no reason to change anything.
No, keep right, Rosie? If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
That's right. Rosie's a coach. He knows. Chris Kellett, a name that we kind of know. He was over there, the interim coach at Lawrence University. Now he is the new Appleton North boys coach. Now, you look at Appleton North girls at the top of the summit. Appleton North boys basketball, not so much, Brett. Really struggled this past year, 0-23, 3-43 with Jerry Overstreet the last 2 years. He resigned.
Check out their last
4 years, 8-83.
Wow.
When you think of Appleton North, you think of outstanding programs in just about every sport, except when it comes to boys basketball. Shocking that they have not at least reached the 500 level.
It is. I've talked about it with parents.
They don't have a shortage of athletes.
No, and everybody kind of is puzzled as what the heck is going on there at a school that typically has a lot of success. Nice facilities, obviously. Yes. So I think this is a really good situation for Chris.
Yes, I do agree.
He was doing really good things at Shawano before he went to Lawrence. He's a basketball junkie. He's a third-grade teacher in the Neenah school district, but was doing nice things at Shawano, building that program up from the ground level, and they're winning some games. Was the interim coach at Lawrence University, as you said, men's basketball this past season. Now he's going back to the high school level where he can only go up, right? I mean, there are no expectations other than trying to rebuild this program. And I think he's going to thrive in this situation. I think he will be the one that turns this around. He eats, sleeps, and breathes hoops. He's part of that Wisconsin Playground Warriors program, so he's well versed in the AAU circuit. Used to being around a lot of high talent. I just think he's going to do good things at Appleton North, but it's going to take some time. And regardless of the sport, if you're at the bottom of the FEA because of how deep it is and the talent level it is, regardless of the sport, it takes some time. So hopefully the parents there can give him the time he needs. However, I think his association, his knowledge, he's got name recognition. I think that's probably going to bring some kids out that maybe haven't played as well. So maybe they can, maybe the wins might come a little bit more than what some folks expect early on.
And the FEA, just because of the way they dominated last year, North is going to be down this year. Kaukauna is going to be down this year. So the FEA as a whole is not going to be as dominating as it was in the last, 3 or 4 years, Brett. So maybe perhaps this will lead to a couple more wins. You kind of snowball things a little bit. I agree with you completely, though. I think this is the right guy for the job. Nowhere to go but up.
And parents, give him some time.
Got to give him some time.
I'm looking at you guys. Give him some time. I mean, it's 8-83 the past 4 seasons. It's going to take some time. I think Kaukauna, though, is going to be better than a lot of people think. I really
even though they lose McCabe?
Yeah, but I like a lot of the young talent that's coming up, and Mike Shallow's a fantastic head coach. So don't forget about Neenah. Kimberly's going to be tough as well. As I said, Neenah's got some young talent. So it'll be interesting to see how Chris does. But when I heard he just fits the FEA profile. He's I think that he's a Neenah graduate. He was a star athlete at Neenah High School. I remember covering him way back when. Shows you my age now, but I just think that's a good hire, and I think he's going to do a good job with North. But give him some time.
Wrapping up here, we just talked about Appleton North. Next week is going to be our final show for the podcast, and we're going to try to do a special award show where it's not going to be too many categories, Brad. Maybe 7 to 8, but we're gonna kind of figure out some for this past prep season, Brett. Kind of like awards.
The preppies.
The preppies. We're going to call them the preppies, and we're going to have a picture of Zach Morris.
Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell. Yeah. And
preppies.
We'll hand them out. We'll hand them all out I don't know. We're thinking of just some things that maybe some categories. Most quotable athlete, perhaps, something like that. It's going to be really tongue in cheek and funny, or attempted humor. Don't judge us on that. But yeah, so I think it's going to be a fun show, Brett, to kind of wrap things up, put a nice little bow on our show.
How about loudest shirt? We'll give it right there.
Yeah, Rosie wins that one. You win it by a country mile there.
Most
days
wearing shorts in the office goes to Rosie.
Mike Sherry, though.
Mike Sherry. That's true. Mike Sherry is a short. Doesn't matter if it's 30 below. Nope. He's in shorts.
Yeah, the guy is. I'm serious. The guy wears shorts every week during the season. Lastly, roundtable this tonight, actually, 7 o'clock. Special guests, we mentioned it earlier, Caden Hofacker of Freedom, Louisa Marks and the Foxway Lutheran. So happy to have those two back on here. They were on here last year. Remember, Louisa's a German transfer. Transfer from Germany. So interesting to talk to her again. And, of course, Caden. Would love to, we're going to pick his brain a little bit more about that 1600 run that we were just mentioning earlier. Outstanding athlete, humble kid, great kid. I know his brother well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that freedom and maybe my scenario there, Brett. Maybe
comes from a good apple orchard too.
Yeah,
good apple cider out there.
There you go. I love apple cider.
By the way, speaks to we always talk about the FBA, but speaks to the depth and the quality of the Northeastern Conference, particularly when it comes to track. There are a lot of good programs on both sides, boys and girls.
Absolutely. And Brett, can you believe we're wrapping up here? The whole prep season is going to be over in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and we get like 3 weeks off, and then it starts all over again, basically. I mean, what is it? High school football starts August 1st.
Can't wait.
I mean, by the time we're done, we'll have state baseball. I'll help out with the digital coverage with that because I won't have any offspring playing at Fox City Stadium.
That you know of.
I'm confident in saying that. So, but then you're in mid-June, and then I was talking to Rosie, there's some vacation times. We got summer's the time we got to burn it up because once August hits, we got Clubhouse Live, kicks off again, our Packers show. This starts again, Brown Table, our high school football games of the week.
And we have to take more this summer so we don't short the people basketball games in December.
We can't have like 2 weeks to burn in December and we're missing good basketball matchups like we did this past year. So it goes quickly. Next thing you know, it's going to be August 1st and we're going to be thinking, where in the heck did summer just go?
That's right.
Yeah, by the way, for our award show next week, Rosie, we got to get you in on this too. So we're going to have to put our heads together and kind of figure out some categories that we can award some of these preppies to.
Speaking of sports award show, I'm just going to put a little tease out there.
Okay.
Our Wisconsin High School Sports Award show, I thought I was done with it.
Thought you were done.
We're already starting planning on 2019.
Just when you thought you were out.
It happened yesterday.
I was just thinking that. It's totally gone.
I got an email already about 2019. I'm like, we just finished 2018. I mean,
do you have any news to announce or no?
I have. All I'm going to say is we have a big announcement coming down the line.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
It's pretty sizable.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think it's a good thing, though.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Maybe by next week, possibly?
It doesn't involve our guest speaker yet, but
okay.
Other big news coming down.
Possibly next week?
No.
Oh.
No, not till later in the summer.
Okay.
But,
all right.
But based on what I've been told and some of the conversations that I've been
maybe we can tease it for the first football game of the year.
Maybe that'd be nice, but I think we have some definitely some good things coming down as far as the Wisconsin High School Sports Award show in 2019. I kind of have a tentative date, and but I'm not going to give that away till everything is officially signed, sealed, and delivered. But yes, guys, we are already planning the 2019 show. There is no rest. There is no rest.
Believe it. I want to send some shout-outs here to our faithful listeners, watchers over there on Facebook. Jerry Laundry, here every week. I love the guy. Casey Hasselberg. Thank you, Casey. Hey, he's checking in from Canada, by the way.
See that?
Oh, Canada. And
Canada,
Christy
eh?
Schwister. Hello, Christy. Thank you for watching and tuning in. Again, for all of you who are watching us on Facebook, you can you don't have to even watch us on Facebook. Just go to your iTunes, go to your Stitcher, go to your Google Play, find the R&B Show, download it. It could be a podcast delivered to your phone every week, your phone or your tablet. So please check us out that way. But yeah, that wraps up episode number 37. Play that music, Rosie.
How are we doing on that stuff? We getting good subscribers?
Oh, we're a consistent subscriber. We have a consistent subscriber base.
Hey, you know, my oldest and his wife, they listen from the Twin Cities.
We love them. Thank you so much.
So hello, Ryan and Angie.
There you go. Go ahead. Let's show
They want to hear it from you.
Oh, congratulations, Angie and Ryan. How's
1
that?
year anniversary coming up.
There you go.
Here we go. Basketball first. That is dead center.
Man, that was like right down the middle.
Man, you're like a Marino.
That one's not bad. That was kind of an over the shoulder, back
Well,
corner.
it wasn't pinpoint like Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
but it got the job
Well,
done.
it was if you were aiming for it.
Cabana Boy giving you some analysis there.
Yeah.
Exactly.